Hi, everybody. It's John Mendola, and we have Aubrey Mytych with us from Wagner. And congratulations, you're the new head field hockey coach.
Thank you. Yeah. Happened in a short amount of time, but I'm glad it happened.
Well, it's great to see you and how you developed. So northeastern Pennsylvania, home, family of coaches. But let's go back to the good old high school days and playing field hockey there at Wyoming Seminary.
Yeah. I actually still look back on those days. And I was fortunate enough to win some medals and championships at Old Dominion as well. But yeah, those are coaches I still keep in contact with to this day. Even some, I called and trusted with a, getting an opinion, when I was offered this, and the kinds of things I'd be responsible for. And, I'm so grateful for that point of time in my life. Even heading into college, kind of felt like we were a bit of a college team in high school, just with all the D1 recruits we had, and all girls I still talk to this day.
Growing up quickly, you're what, like 24?
24, yep.
24 and a head coach at a Division I school, and as you said, these things kind of develop quickly. Let's talk about the scenario and how you wound up at Wagner.
Yeah. So I was actually so basically every other year I've had always my internship before spring break for the summer. And I've always liked to get that out of the way and kind of know what my summer plans are. So obviously, I was graduating this May, no more internships. It was time to get a job. And I was sitting in class one day I always looked at the NFHCA job boards and whatnot, and obviously, coaching runs in my family. So I thought, maybe I would really like that. And the Wagner College job popped up to be a GA. You get your master's, you get to coach at a D1 school. And I applied. And, from there, beginning of March, I got to come and see the campus. And then a week later, I accepted the position.
That's awesome to hear, and
Yeah.
to coach though. Let's talk about the responsibilities here at 24 and thinking, okay, I'm responsible of these probably 18 to 21, 22-year-old young ladies, and have command over them and them have some respect for you. I'm sure it's going to be earned here as time goes on.
Yeah, for sure. And that was one thing, about all this happening so quick, after the initial, like, yep, this is happening, set in, it was kind of time to get to work. I made sure I had them sign a code of conduct, just some general rules and stuff, the first day of preseason. They already have their schedule for the whole year. We made our team values, met with captains, and all of that. And again, I can't stress enough how happy I am to have Cam by my side, my assistant coach, who I recruited to be a GA here with me. I told her how great of an experience it was going to be. And when this happened, I gave her a call and I said, I think I'm going to take it. And she goes, yeah, let's do it. We got it. And I was so grateful that I got to play with her at Old Dominion. She's a great goalie. She's still on the Canadian national team right now in training. So even at practices, the knowledge that she brings on the defensive side and also for the goalies is just amazing.
You got some coaches in that family to lean on. First let's talk about what you learned from the family there with the coaching in the Mytych family. Got a little freeze up here. Let's see if we can work through this. All right, we lost Aubrey momentarily, so let's see if she'll come back in, and we'll continue our interview here with Aubrey Mytych. So she's here. We'll get her right back.
Yeah, perfect. I was going to say sorry. I
Oh,
think
that's okay. We froze up there for a moment, so we're getting to the part where we're talking about coaching in the Mytych family. So tell us about what you learned from everybody.
Yeah. So obviously, I've been around it since a young age. Watching my dad first, he was always coaching wrestling at Wyoming area. And me, obviously growing up in that environment, even when my brother was growing up and him competing, going D1 and even on the Olympic circuit. So for me, obviously when all of this happened, my first calls, was to my dad and my brother. And, he was like, they both were like, obviously you have to take it. This is a great opportunity. Um, And, there's still people, I actually just talked to him before, asking him for some pointers, just about a couple of things. And that's really what I've learned. I know that I may not be the most experienced for this role, but I know that as long as I use my support system around me, I'm going to be able to do anything.
It's exciting to hear, that you're in charge of a program here. Let's talk about, once you start pinching yourself, you're like, okay, we got to get going now. We got a game coming up pretty soon. So when you look at the schedule and you look at like, okay, we got a bear ahead of us. I don't think you're going to be intimidated by anybody, but all you're going to do is do what you've done, which has been a blue collar mentality to get you to the point where you're at in your life.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely excited about our schedule. We just had our first scrimmage yesterday. So there was a lot of great things that I saw. I've already coded the film and all of that fun stuff. And we have film first thing tomorrow morning. So yeah, really just getting ahead of that on that front. And then, on top of me coaching, I'm also pursuing my master's and getting my MBA. So definitely going to have my hands full here the next couple weeks. But again, I know with me and Cam, we can do anything together, and it's been really great this last week and a half. And I think the girls have already improved so much. And the team culture is great. We have great captains, and I think that's really important again in a winning culture.
And you're going to probably have to start thinking about recruiting already. I'm sure the first place you're going to think about is Northeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Again, that's another exciting thing, about having the experience of being able to go to SEM, being able to play for Electric Surge. I know where so many of these girls come from. I know that they've learned the fundamentals correctly. I know so many of their coaches. Actually, Claire Evans, she just transferred from UMass to Wagner this fall. So that's great, that I have a Surge girl here already. And I'm hoping, on that front, I can just keep building. I know that the field hockey in our area is a hotbed. And it's definitely something I plan to take advantage of.
The coaching here in Northeastern Pennsylvania is still pretty strong. A lot of the classic people have gone. There's still got our Lake Lehman lady Lipsky still going, fifth Ian at Wyoming Valley West, and Trail has an experienced coach in Evans, and then of course the youth movement there at Wyoming area, Benarski. So there's still some good coaching here in Northeastern Pennsylvania. Talk a little bit about, when you went to college right off the bat and, okay, hey, it's Penn State, then it's Old Dominion. And, the landscape of college athletics is changing for everybody. But, you got to have that right fit, and talk about, student athletes trying to find the right fit and making sure that they're happy and things work out for them in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. So back when I was being recruited, there was no rule yet. There was no June 15th. I had my first call in 7th grade with a college coach, and it's really crazy to think back to that. My nephew, Stevie J, is, he's starting to get older. He's going to be in middle school pretty soon, and then before that, he's in 9th grade before colleges start to look at him. It's just crazy to think that I was having calls with coaches, thinking I knew what I wanted, but really you don't know anything, you don't know what you don't know. So I just think definitely I'm excited for all of my experiences that I've had, being at Penn State, then transferring, going to ODU, having that experience, even at Wyoming Seminary, being able to help other student athletes best find their fit. I think if I could go back, I definitely wish I would have asked, some other questions, did a bit more digging. But I do think that everything ended up happening for a reason. It was really awesome to commit in high school sophomore year. And for those next 3 years of high school, I knew where I was going. But again, if I could go back, I definitely would have asked some other questions and would have explored a bit more before committing. I don't think I exactly did as many officials or unofficials looking back as I should have, if I'm being honest.
And I'm sure that the recruiting, at Wagner, you could say, hey, you could go by boat, by train, by car, by whatever there's a lot of things to do. Talk a little bit about, your recruiting pitch here on the short term of you come to Wagner, there's a lot around us and there's a lot of fun, and it's a nice campus.
Yeah, definitely. So actually, yes, some of the girls were in the city today, it's really great that Wagner has the Staten Island ferries right there to take you over to the city. There's so many internship opportunities, just for your future. That opens up a whole abundance, of things that are in the city right there. And then I think just especially for me, if I'm going to be recruiting girls, especially from the NEPA area, you're a good 2 hours away from home. You still get your distance, you get some space away, but also, you're not too far away from home. And also, I think we play in a pretty competitive conference. Right now, I think in our preseason pool, we were number 3. So, last year we lost in overtime to Sacred Heart. And, this year we're definitely looking to avenge that and, compete for a championship.
Well, Aubrey, your family, I'm sure you're still, you guys are a tight family. You're keeping in touch with them. And I'm sure now there's another thing that we have to get to, but you'll have that support, I'm sure, of them coming to visit you and watch the games.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think my parents are especially happy. I'm not almost 7.5 hours away anymore down at ODU. My brother is only 30 minutes from me at Rutgers, which is awesome. And, yeah, I'm close to my home still. And, it makes it a lot easier for my parents to go to his matches, come to my games. But yeah, again, just kind of be more thankful of the support I have around me. And, again, looking forward to keeping that this season.
All right. It's been a bang, bang kind of summer, developing quickly, and now at
Yep.
24 years old, the head coach at Wagner. Aubrey, great to catch up with you, see you, and congratulations on the new gig. All the best.